Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And this wrap-up is for the evening of Thursday, the 23rd of January. And boy, I can't wait to be out of January. It's been so cold in Chicago. And it is 2025, the year, and the time right now about 6:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, it's been brutal cold. You have to laugh at New Orleans, 10 inches of snow. Not that it's a good thing, but maybe it is. I mean, you get that much snow and you never get it. You're not used to it. And it can be fun for a lot of people. And, you learn to get around it. Here, our problem is, you'll get warm and then you get the freezing ice, and that becomes problematic for people. I don't know if you saw today President Trump make his speech to the World Economic Forum at Davos. He couldn't attend. He just got into office. But he reiterated all his points. Tariffs are coming. He certainly singled out Canada, our neighbor. I don't know what they're going to do about that, but he's not happy. He wasn't as bad on Mexico, and that's what I've been telling you. I think Mexico's doing a lot of things on the right way to get on the better side of him. As for China, he will go after that. He called on OPEC, specifically the Saudis, to produce more oil, to get the price of oil down, which is not exactly what they want, but he says that would help alleviate inflation. Okay. Obviously, he wants to talk with Russian President Putin. If you heard what he said that he received messages that they want to talk about the potential peace, and Zelensky is all too eager to talk. Those are good things. Come Monday, Israel and Hezbollah, it's the end of the 60-day truce, and everybody's making noise that the other party's hasn't done enough or hasn't moved quick enough. Okay, it's a code word for it'll fall apart. I doubt it. I think that'll stay together. In the foreign currency market, we now have to start getting ourselves ready, because next week you have the FOMC coming up with its meeting. The Bank of Japan's coming on board. European Central Bank, Bank of England. We got a lot of banks about to tell us what their monetary policy is. And as a whole, I think it'll benefit the dollar, as most places want to cut rates with the exception of Japan, which I think is going to lift their rate. But most will cut their rates, and I think we're going to sit pat in the U.S. dollar, which gives us that differential, which helps. And then our stock market, which is still doing very well under President Trump now. So we will see what happens. But remember, this is just the first week. There's a long road ahead of everything. We will see what goes on. The cabinet is gradually getting sworn in. It looks like Pete Hegseth could make it. There's 2 Republicans that have backed out. All of the Democrats voted against him in the test part of it. He comes up for tomorrow. But if all you need is that other Republican not to turn, you'd have your majority. And if he does, you can break everything with Vice President Vance making the vote. So we're very close to knowing if he's going to make it. And then the others coming in, what is it? Brooke Rollins. It looks like she'll make it sailing through as the USDA Agriculture Secretary. And there's person upon person that are making it. And we have our new CIA director and so on. So as we take a look at what's going on through here, the market did come down recently, held very nicely. The 18-day average and has moved back to a new high. So when I tell you on a regular basis how important 18-week moving average of closes are, on a weekly chart, obviously, I can't begin to explain it, that so often markets like to come in and challenge that. Now, will the market be able to bust through this or not? That's going to be a super question. This pattern could be one where you're just stuck in a trading range from 5,800 up to the 6,200 level for a while. Nothing would surprise me this early on in the year. And I say that because the market has gone literally straight up every single day with a higher high and not a lower low. That's an unusual pattern. It's called a vertical price rise. These things have a way of suddenly rolling back down, looking for where the support might be in as the market's getting itself bought up very quickly. You can see how all the moving averages are still in bullishness, with the shortest term 18 day over the 100-day, the 100-day over the 200. But where's the resistance? It's right in front of you. It's the upper Bollinger Band. Markets often go to that number and start stalling out, be it on the upside or the downside. Here's your downside, what it did. Here's your upside. Am I calling for a top? That's not what I'm saying. I'm calling for a stall point. And that to me is very important. Do I think the pros are taking money off right here? Absolutely. First challenge of a Bollinger Band in a market that is overbought on a vertical rise. Yes, that is what I think they're doing. In the NASDAQ, haven't quite made it there. You are overbought, vertical rise. But today you saw the pause start setting in the sense that, notice right here what the market did. You have an inside day. You didn't make the higher high. You went for the higher high in the same move in the Dow Jones. And again, you're not able to really punch through that upper Bollinger Band, and you are overbought here. And you really didn't go anywhere today in the Russell. Again, the Russell's going to look to see when does the U.S. start cutting rates, and that's when I think it comes alive. But I don't think we're at that point in the month of January at all. So yes, I'm not saying it's bearish. That's not what I'm saying. I don't see a trend here. I see a market just doing one of those things, wobbling around. Notice how the 10-year notes have gone back to the 18-day average, that line in the sand, and sitting. Whatever they're waiting on, they're waiting. You're not trending. You have a higher high, lower low, and you are just going sideways right here. And you're doing the same darn thing in the 2-year notes. So that brings me to the dollar index. If you'll recall when I did my special report, you were up here. And I said, I'm looking for a pullback in the market. I think the market will pull back. First stopping spot might be the 18-day average. And then it slipped through and it's found the Bollinger Band of support. I don't think you're going to break out to the downside from this. Could I be wrong? Very wrong. But you're oversold. You've come down to the band. Where do the pros cover shorts if they're in? I think at that band. Where's the resistance? Back at the 18-day average. But the longer you spin sideways, the more inclined I am, contra to what you'll hear from President Trump when he'll call for the lower dollar, for the dollar to stay stronger, because I think the very next event this coming week will be a series of central banks cutting interest rates. Our central bank should be leaving them alone, and the economic data is still looking good in America, which the dollar gets a nod because of that. Differentials in interest rates will help that out, I think. What we've had is a short covering rally in the euro in front of them having their central bank meeting. You have two events going on here. You've got the swaps market, which is pricing in 3 rate cuts this coming year, this year, not coming, 2025. But the option bettors are betting there's going to be 125 basis points of cuts. So you cut that and the U.S. doesn't really join this party. I don't see how you stay up in the currency. I do get it that as you take rates down, eventually they work through the economy and they help it. That's the whole idea. But you don't, in January, begin the cuts, if you will, and think it's going to be in, February, I'm going to see the improvement. Doesn't quite work that way. In the British pound, I'm looking for the fight right through here, the 18-day average. And again, I wouldn't be surprised if you get a reversal, but none of these are throwing out new signals. So don't think that I'm saying buy here or sell there, because I'm not. I'm saying I'm waiting for the signals to come in. Bitcoin has hit the upper Bollinger Band, running into big resistance, and it's overbought at this time. When we come to Brent, it's lower highs, lower lows, as the market is fighting at the 18-day average of closes. Same thing in the WTI. So you've pulled back to what I call the neutral spot, which is where I think the market should have a problem at this point. I'm not looking for the markets to pick up from here and suddenly get very bullish. Could they close under the 18-day average and throw out more bearishness is the better question. You're not in oversold territory. You did the same in the heating oil, even with all this terrible cold weather. This has been discounted. That's over. I started telling you that at the beginning of the week. And now the market I'm looking for to join in is the nat gas, as I think that's the next down leg is right in front of us. So you want to take a look at that. The trading is starting to come fast and heavy. I don't know if you're aware of that, but it is doing that right now, right here. And I know over the past week, I put out more recommendations just this week than I did a good part of the month in December, as the market's now giving setups. They don't all work. They don't all lose, but you're getting the setups. Away you go. I know today in the gold, I was smiling as can be. As we're looking at how this market is going, each morning I put out a video at 6 in the morning with charts. I don't just wake up and say, I'm bullish gold. This is what you do. We look at the chart, give you the reasons, what's going on, long-term positions, short-term positions, what to do, why to do it in all the markets. So how do you get this? You go to iraepstein.com under the word research. It's proof of what the chart looks like. Doesn't mean my interpretation's right or wrong, but I base it on this and I'm consistent with the same analysis, and that to me is very important. So go to iraepstein.com, look at the word research. That's where you get all this. Move your cursor to the top here. You'll see an icon. Give that a click. It'll take you there. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great evening. I'll catch up with everybody in the morning.